Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to talk about impact and follow-through feels to fix your ball flight. Hey guys, Eric here, back outside at the Bethlehem Golf Club. Let's talk about impact and follow-through feels. But before we dive in, I want to let you know about CogornoGolf.com. CogornoGolf.com is our online community. It's our team of golfers like you and I looking to get better. A lot of you guys ask me where you can send in your swing videos, how do we work together, and the answer is on CogornoGolf.com. As a member, you get access to everything on the site, including the member library, the quick fix section, the practice library, and most importantly, the Facebook group, where you can post up your swing videos and I can give you feedback on what your priorities are, how to work on them, and help guide you through the process. You also get access to all of our master classes that we've come out with before and continue to come out with. Would love to see you guys there. Put a link in the description down below. Okay, so let's talk about impact and follow-through feels to fix your ball flight. So what we're gonna talk about in this video here is feels in terms of your hands, arms, and club during the impact and follow-through phase relative to what your current ball flight pattern is. Now, first we have to define ball flight pattern. In general, when I see golfers, they come to work with me, I see one of two directional patterns. One pattern is more common, 80+% probably, which is sort of the over-the-top downswing, which leads to pulls, fades, and slices. So we'll call that sort of category one, pulls, fades, and slices. The opposite of that is the push hook pattern, which is maybe 20% of golfers. They have a downswing that's too far under plane or from inside. They hit some category of a push to the right, a hook or draw to the left, and then a hook to the left. So you've got your pull, fade, slice pattern, category one. You have your push, draw, hook pattern, category two. And what we're gonna do here are feels, right? Feels at impact and during the follow through to fix those patterns and things you can educate your arms and hands with. The arms and hands always get a bad rap in the golf swing, but the reality is you can't play without them and you have to learn how to use them. These are things that can help you improve right away and things you can take immediately to the golf course or when you have a bad day and you just need to have a ball flight to work in. So let's talk about these feels. What we'll talk about first is the pull, fade, slice pattern because it is most common. Let's go over those feels first. Okay, so the pull, fade, slice pattern in terms of feels. Now we're gonna put a little swing direction guide in a minute, but let's talk about the arms and hands. Now, if you're someone who has this fade over fade pattern, in general, especially if you're leaning towards the ball curving too far to the right. So not as much here if your misses the pull, but more so if your misses the ball that curves too far to the right, we know your club face is too open. Okay, now, I don't know why it's too open without seeing it. It could be your grip is too weak. It could be wrist conditions. It could be too much forearm rotation, right? There's many things that could happen earlier. But regardless of what it is, if that's what you have and you need to fix that during the impact and follow through phase, then these are the feels you need to use. In essence, what we need is your club face pattern is too open, right? Let's assume when you come during the follow-through pattern, your club face pattern is too open. What you would need to feel is a little bit more of a release here. Okay, what does that mean? That means when you work through here, you want to feel your club face tilted down slightly to the plane. You want to feel a little bit more of your back of your hand towards the ground, a little bit more palm up, a little bit more right palm down or back of the right hand towards the ground. So a little bit more of an active downswing pattern. And some of you guys are gonna say, but hey, I don't wanna use my hands when I go play. Well, if the alternatives are either you use your hands and you get rid of your slice, or you don't use your hands, you keep slicing, we're gonna choose the use your hands and get rid of your slice pattern. Now in the beginning, what I want you to do is do this and just get a feel for release, and then I'm gonna show you a swing direction station. So for you, if you just hit little half ones, if you're curving the ball to the right, you need to curve some to the left. Again, assuming we're not fixing what's going on earlier, we're gonna do it this way just for right now. You're gonna feel this, face tilted down towards the ground, back of the hand more towards the ground, left palm up towards the sky. If you're right hand dominant, right palm more down towards the ground, back of right hand towards the sky. And we're gonna hit a couple shots with that, trying to get the face tilted down. and just get a sense of what it feels like to have a ball curve to the left, or more importantly, just not go to the right. And again, this isn't necessarily incorrect. If you don't want to go through the process of fixing what's earlier, you can use these things to play with. It might not be the best always long-term option, but something you can use. So same thing, more face rotation in the follow through, face tilted down towards the ground is the over exaggeration. Get some balls like that, just get some balls curving left. I've got an 8-iron here, I'm hitting those about 100 yards. You should be at about that range when you start. So more of an active release pattern. Let's talk about the follow through station to put in with this. Okay, so the follow through station here, for those of you who have the ball missing to the right, a little bit more release pattern, we just have our normal follow through swing direction station in for the slicers. This was in the best stroke I've ever seen video, in our Fix Your Weak Fade video. And so what I have here is I got a stick in the ground. I just have a small one, so it's set up a little more difficult. But basically what I'm doing is I take my setup and I want to put an object in my way that doesn't allow me to swing the club too far to the left past impact, which is the issue if you're a puller or a slicer. So you want to feel like the club is working more to the right past impact. If face on is 12 o'clock, I would feel it more towards about 10 o'clock. I feel like the club head is exiting over here about 10 o'clock, like a 45-degree angle over here, while I'm allowing that face to rotate a little bit, which is good, just to kind of have a little bit of a flip hook, get the ball curving to the left. Now when I put the stick in, I'm going to hit some shots feeling those two pieces together. So that feels to me like a little bit more of kind of a roll release pattern, and the ball drew to the left. Guess what? You can roll release your way to shooting under par. So if you're shooting 80, 90, 100, 110, and you're afraid of using your hands too much, let's get over that right now. Let's get the face close to the path first. We can clean this up later. Same thing, a little bit of release. Let the face tilt down, back of the hand towards the ground, right? I'm going to feel the club exiting a little bit more over 10 o'clock. So it'll feel like your arms are rotating a little and kind of exiting much more away from you, kind of more extended to the right. These are the feels to get it curving to the left. And there's the same thing. So that for me is probably about a 5-yard draw. And if you're someone who's been cutting it and missing it to the right for years and years and years, you need to get to the point where you curve it too far left. So the next month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, all you do is change your ball flight to start curving it left. That would be huge strides in the right direction. When you set this up, and you can refer to the other videos we've done on this, when I take my setup position, really I'm putting the club down my toe line, and I have the stick just underneath that. So here's my toe line right here. I put the club parallel to the ground on my toe line, and the stick's just underneath that. And this is what's getting me to feel like I'm releasing it over this way. So letting the club face release a little, okay, and getting the stick in front of you, those are the release and follow through feels for someone that misses to the right. Let's talk about the opposite pattern. Okay, impact and follow through feels for someone who has now the draw pattern, or let's say an overactive release pattern. So if you're a golfer who, when you see yourself from down the line, have this sort of look, right? The club gets down the line, the face gets tilted down. Basically, an exaggerated version of what we just talked about for the draw pattern. If you're someone who overdoes those pieces, again, a better player problem. So for those of you who are slicing too much, you'd rather get in this category, okay, because your scores are gonna come down. But if you overdo that, let's say you butt of the club down the line, too much of this, and you wanna get into kind of a more stable release pattern, again, without going through all the rotation and other pieces, just arms and hands, what would you need to feel? Well, you need to feel basically the opposite. If you're normally too far down this way, you need to feel like you're more or less sort of undercutting it, which would be when you work through, almost like you're reversing the face to path. Now, of course, you're not gonna actually do that, but if right here, normally I wanna feel the face down, if you're someone who hooks it or pushes it or has an overactive release, you need to feel more here, like your Strixon or your logo on the glove, here's a little free promo, is gonna go more up and to the side this way. Your right palm is gonna be more up towards the sky. The face is more up towards the sky. Of course, I know that there's gonna be some natural rotation, but if you're here and you wanna get to perfect, you gotta feel like you're sort of undercutting it. What you're gonna look for as a drawer or hooker of the ball is little cut shots. So I'm feeling like this, my hands are going up and left, and I'm almost reverse rotating or reverse rolling the club face. And again, in the beginning, I'm just hitting little half ones. So that's another 8-iron that goes about 100 yards, a little 5-yard cut. And I'm feeling the opposites. If I'm someone who pushes hooks, that's the sensation that I want to have. Sort of my right palm working up and away this way. my left, back of left hand up and away this way compared to the other pattern. That's my sort of feel here. So that'll be much more of a sort of a stable face not closing to the path as much. And you can also put a swing direction station in if you have this pattern, which I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so the follow through station, for those of you who hit the pushes and the hooks, is just the opposite of the other ball pattern. So what you normally do is you're too far inside and you exit to the right. So we want to put something in your way. So when you feel this sort of reverse roll release pattern, kind of more this way, no right arm rotation, like your palms facing under and away from you the whole time. You're also having your hands work left and you're having the shaft kind of exit more low and left. So for me, when I do that, it feels more no release, and I'm sort of having more of this sort of follow through for the fade pattern, again, to find middle. So I put the stick in my way where I have to go underneath that. I'll go ahead and hit a little half, again, a little 8-iron here to start with. And I'm sort of feeling the kind of hold off right under reverse release pattern. Now that is gonna get you, if you have draws or you have hooks, back to normal. And what you wanna do is actually have the ball fade a couple times in the beginning. If you're someone who overhooks it forever, it'll be nice and you'll probably love to see the ball cut a little bit. So those are the feels, right, regardless of your ball pattern. If you're someone who's been slicing it or missed to the right forever, you need to not, in your mind, be like, oh my God, I can't use any hands. You need to have a little bit of a release pattern. Let yourself do a little bit of a flip hook, kick the swing direction to the right of the stick. If you're someone who's overactive with your release, higher level player, or you hit pushes and hooks, you want to feel a little bit more sort of the under or the reverse roll. Have the hands arms working more left pass impact. Again, guys, I know there's a lot more to this. There's body rotation, there's all kinds of other things, but in terms of hands, arms, and club, and things you can feel right away to change your ball flight pattern as you play, because it's never going to be perfect all the time, these are things you can take right to the course. If you guys have any questions, as always, leave a comment down below. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video. If you liked the video, do us a favor, click the like button down below. Click the notification bell. Also, please subscribe if you haven't. Another reminder, every Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are live here on YouTube for Rapid Fire Golf. Would love to see you guys there. Thanks.